registered participants at the conclusion. So feel free to take notes, but know that we're going to send everything over to you, and you'll have it within the next day or so. So we'll get started here. John Reedy, I'm the founder of Sargent IoT. We're an IoT solutions company, and I'm joined today by, sorry, I may need to give a quick mute. It sounds like we've got somebody back in, some feedback here. All right, I think we're back on track here. I'm joined today by Chintan from PCTEL, and I'll let him do his intro, and then we'll get into the webinar. Chintan?
Thank you, John, and thanks everyone for joining this webinar. John and the Sargent team, thanks for providing me this opportunity to be a guest on your webinar and provide some insights on the IoT sensors that we provide. A little bit about myself. My name is Chintan Fafaria. I'm a VP of Product Management for the IoT devices here at PCTEL. Have been with PCTEL for 13 plus years now, and been involved on various different roles through our test and measurement, and now I'm in charge of our IoT devices product management. So back to you, John.
Thanks, Chintan. Just a little about us. We're an IoT solutions company, and we enable our partners to deploy a wide variety of solutions and use cases. We're based in just north of Dallas, Texas, and we are a stocking distributor for not only the PCTEL IoT products, but others as well. Now I'll turn it over to Chintan, and he's going to give a great overview of the IoT devices from PCTEL.
So a little bit about why do we need sensors? And this is not new. I mean, sensors have been used in industrial environments for a while now. But as technology is progressing, and especially with Industry 4.0, this is becoming primarily very useful because the progress in technology provides us the opportunity to use the data collected from all these multiple different types of sensors, combine it, and then massage it and use it in the right format. And that's where a partnership like PCTEL and Sargent comes at fore, because while PCTEL has a wide variety of sensors, a platform of sensors that you can use and create the right sensor platform, the choice that you want. And then Sargent brings it together in their cloud platform, providing you the exact data insights that you need that will provide you the benefits you see here. You know, industry has been using wired sensors for a long time, but our focus today will be on a discussion on wireless sensors and how you take this data from this wireless sensors and bring it together so that it provides you the ultimate insights that you need. And the benefits that you will see from this wireless sensors range across the entire gamut. If you think about proactive maintenance, you know, you're collecting data continuously on machines where you have installed sensors, and John will go into some details about use cases. But think about it: you have a sensor on a machine that's monitoring temperature or vibration, and you, from that temperature change or vibration change, you can know that is there something going on with the machine itself. And if you have been collecting this data and have triggers and thresholds, it will let you know at the right time that something might be going on, and you can actually go and fix the thing before it happens. It helps you with maintenance, makes sure that your machines are running, improves your productivity, improves your uptime. Secondly, if you are thinking about other type of issues that you want to keep an eye on, and that you want to be not only with your machines, but you want to look out for some trigger events and find out these issues, or in some cases good events that might help you improve your productivity. So these sensors can collect a lot of data, and the type of sensors that are available today in the market, and with the ability of wireless technologies, you can take this data into a single platform. And John will talk more about the platform that they provide, and then view all your data in a single place so that you can make right decisions based on that. It also connects to worker safety, certain conditions where you can connect the sensors to forklifts and things like that. So when workers are in the field, it helps to ensure that the safety of you right up front, and we can ensure that not have any unforeseen incidents that can put someone in someone's safety in jeopardy. So overall, and if you're collecting all this data, imagine how much can contribute to the environmental sustainability, because you are sometimes having the right sensors deployed in the right places. For example, if you have sensors deployed on water meters, then you do not need to have continuous truck rolls or other pipelines or water lines, or in industries like agriculture. If you have sensors deployed, you can improve your precision agriculture farming and digital farming. So combine all this wireless sensor and the data that it provides to you, you have a lot of benefits. John, can you go to the next slide, please? So what are the different types of deployments that we see in the industry right now with this wireless sensor? So there are, if you look at the left-hand side of the quadrant here, there are basically two main different types of deployments. First would be a greenfield deployment. So what do I mean by a greenfield deployment? So you might be coming up with a new location, a new industrial location where you do not have any existing sensors or any existing ways of monitoring what's going on in your location. So then you actually have the choice to make here what type of sensors you'll need, what type of technology you want to deploy for wirelessly collecting this data, and then by taking it all into the same cloud. And this gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of how you can collect and take this data back. So in terms of greenfield deployments, it's essential that you can choose the right combination. You can visualize things that where you want to take your data and think about a long-term benefit from a company point of view that how you can use the sensors for. The second type of deployment is where you have existing sensors that are deployed in the field, and these might be existing analog sensors, because it's not sensors are not new to us and to the industry. We have been using these sensors for a while, but there are places where you have this analog data sensors that are connected either through wired connections, or you are taking analog readings in some other fashion. But in this case is also now with the advances in the technology and uh, on the sensor platforms itself, you can connect these existing analog sensors to wireless connectivity and take the data back. So these kind of deployments are called brownfield deployments, where either you have something existing that you are using, or you want to quadrant. You could have sensors which are on board with connected on a device itself, which can behave as an edge device, which gives you the ability to collect the data, multiple data inputs that you have, and send the data back into the cloud. Or you could have external sensors that you can connect to a wireless gateway or a wireless device and take the data back. So there are four different types of deployments here, and it could be a combination of anything. You can have greenfield and external, you could have greenfield and onboard, or you can have brownfield and onboard sensors, or brownfield and external sensors. So keep this in mind, because it becomes a very important part of what technology you choose, what platform you choose, and how you take your data back to your cloud environments. John, can you go to the next slide, please? And when it comes to connecting these sensors back wirelessly, there are three major choices that the industry generally has. We have Bluetooth, we have LoRa, and we have cellular. While Bluetooth and cellular are good technologies, but they do need to require a lot of infrastructure uh, in deployments, and Bluetooth can be used for sensors within a particular location, but still taking the data back to the cloud, you would need something like a LoRa or a 5G or a cellular technology. Cellular technology has advanced a lot with 5G coming in. We have benefits, but then it does require you to have this own the spectrum, or deploy a public, or use the existing public network, or deploy a private network. But what we are seeing picking up more and more in the industrial environments is LoRa. LoRa, because it provides a long range communication. It's a standard-based technology, and it's robust for industrial environments. So while you have a choice, uh, we'll focus on LoRa today, and John will probably speak about how they are connecting the PCTEL sensors with LoRa gateways and taking the data back to the cloud. So there are different choices, but at the end of the day, it all depends on the environment you are in. And of course, there's Wi-Fi as well. You can think about Wi-Fi as your as a backup technology, but then you have to deploy a network and find ways to take data back through a connected route through Ethernet or something to your cloud. So those are the wireless technologies that are available. And if you are in an urban environment, network for cellular, great. If you have a spectrum available for yourself for cellular that is purchased, or you are using someone else's who has purchased a spectrum and can provide you that public private network, that's another way of doing it. LoRa becomes a cheaper solution if you are planning to deploy it in a particular location. Then it becomes where you can get your own gateways and sensors and deploy your own network. So the choices are there, and it depends on the scenario and the environment that we are dealing in. Next slide, John. And what are, if you look at the forecast from an industry point of view, and this is uh, data source is markets and markets, but if you look at what are the different types of sensors that are available? Again, this is dependent on your application, but you can have a combination of multiple sensors on a single platform and if your application requires that type of a platform where you need both temperature and maybe an accelerometer so that you know vibrations as well, or you are connecting pressure sensors along with vibration, then there are platforms that are available. But if you look at the biggest applications of sensors, if you look at the forecast by what type of sensors will be deployed most, pressure, temperature are the biggest ones being forecast in the industry. Then you have accelerometer, magnetometers that will be used. Gyroscopes that are useful as well. You have motion sensors mostly in commercial environments, but there are there are use cases in the industrial environments as well. Humidity sensor, touch and flow sensor. These could be analog sensors, but you can then combine it with existing platforms that can provide a way to make it wireless and connect it to external platforms so that you can have this data connect wirelessly transmitted to cloud platforms. So next slide. So that's where choosing the right sensor and the data platform becomes really important. If you combine everything together, you need to know your application basically demands that what type of combination of onboard sensors that you need right now or in the future. Would you be connecting to any external sensors that you need external I/O for? And then what type of gateway that your wireless technology that you're going to use for the sensors, where depending on the environment as we spoke about, and then what type of cloud platform and what type of insights that platform can provide to you, so that you can make this intelligent decisions based on all the data that you're collecting. So if you look at what PCTEL brings to the market, is we have two different types of sensor platforms that we bring. The first one that we bring is a PCTEL WSC, which is an edge device, and you have the option here to pick and choose and combine multiple sensors together. You can choose to have temperature, pressure, humidity on one sensor with air quality, and also have the ability to have a 9-axis IMU, which means that you can have a magnetometer, an accelerometer, and a gyroscope on the same sensor. You can choose between the technology that you want for transmitting this data back, based on what your needs are. It could be cellular, could be LoRa, and then you can take it to a platform like what Stargent brings to the market, where they combine all this data and bring it into a single platform, so that the customers can have a turnkey solution from Stargent, and then have all the data in a single place. Now, if you also need addition to the onboard sensors that you see here, if you need to connect to external sensors, for example, like pressure meters, flow meters, or level meters that seeing what is the type of level of the liquid in a tank or a gas tank or things like that, then you can combine this onboard sensors with external sensors. And we have a platform for that, which we call the WSE Pro, where can combine up to 6 external sensors that have analog or digital outputs, and you can then combine this data with your onboard sensors and send out the data wirelessly. Even if you need to charge this external sensors that are existing or you're bringing in for some reason, then in your greenfield or brownfield deployment, you can then take this data back in a single easy manner. So there are platforms available, and you need to make the right and informed choice. And of course, experts like Stargent or PCTEL can come in and help you to make that right choice based on your application. So with that, John, I'll hand it back to you and talk about the platform. So a little bit, before I hand it back, a little bit about PCTEL itself. We are in multiple industries. We have antennas, test and measurement, and IoT devices. We are a known brand for our antennas, from everything from public safety to utilities to GPSS, GNSS antennas. So we have a lot of experience in antennas and RF design, basically, and that's where we have taken this experience forward with our industrial IoT devices. And also we have test and measurement solutions for scanning receivers and a lot of other applications in that arena. So if you need any help on those type of things as well, we'll be happy to help. Thank you.
Chintan, appreciate the information and your insight here. Now we'll focus a little bit on the platform. So as Chintan mentioned, they have an incredible amount of flexibility as far as data and use cases. And one of the best things about the wireless sensor endpoint is it truly is a platform. You can find lower grade, what I call unitaskers that will do some of these things. And, in a commercial or an industrial environment, it really makes sense to standardize on a single platform that gives you multiple use cases on one device. We're ordering one part number, we're deploying that for everything we're doing, and gives us one look and feel. Means our technicians need to understand only one product, so it's a real benefit there. Now, what do? We bring in the ability to visualize, manipulate, alert on the data that the sensors deliver. And this platform was designed from the ground up, and it lets us mix and match devices, manufacturers, and really deliver plug and play solutions. And one of the interesting things about us, if you see here on the right side, this is what we call our proven process. We design, we survey, we install, and then we monitor. So, we supply all the hardware that you need to get your strategy up and running. We help provision the devices. They're available on the cloud-based platform immediately when we ship them to you. And we create sort of a standalone network using either a cellular or an Ethernet backhaul that means you can monitor and interact with these devices while maintaining your own informational security, meaning these are not gateways into your network because they stand alone. And then once your devices are on the platform, you can interact with them, you can monitor the devices, you can establish alerts, which mean you can set certain thresholds and be notified. Escalation paths mean that if an alert condition exists, I can send person A the alert, and after a certain time period, if it's not corrected, I can send it to person B. And if another time period, I can send it to person C. And that allows us to escalate these alerts back up through your chain of command and make sure that they're not only noticed, but they're addressed. And these alerts are available via either SMS text message or email or both. You can also create custom dashboards, which I'll talk about in a bit, for each user, meaning if we're using the WSE platform for several different use cases and different departments are more interested in some use cases than the other. They don't have to parse through 15 different data sets to see everybody's alert. It gives you the ability to really leverage a flexible platform like the wireless sensor endpoint. And then again, out of the box, you have so many different use cases, and all of this comes standard and as a part of the platform. Now, take a little bit of a dive into what the platform looks like. This is the kind of base level dashboard. You'll see PCTEL demo, Stargent IoT. These can also be locations. Each location can have an entirely separate set of users, can have an entirely separate hierarchy, reporting, summary reports. We can generate graphs, and all of these locations can operate independently, but based on a permission set, you can see multiple or only a single location. And you'll see here down in the expanded view, we have a few sensors. We have a LoRa gateway at the very bottom. We have a just kind of general ambient room sensor. And then we have the PCTEL wireless sensor endpoint here with all of its various data points available to us. One thing to note, I can select on or off for any of the wireless sensor endpoint data points based on what I want to see. So if, for instance, I don't need the accelerometers, I can turn off the accelerometers. If I don't need the magnetometers, I can turn those off. If all I'm interested is temperature, humidity, and pressure, that can be all that I see in this view as well. Up at the upper right, you see the menu. I can really manage any piece of this from this screen directly. And this is kind of the home base. Now, when I click into the device, what can I see? We're reading on a fairly short interval here just for data purposes, but at the top, you see a summary. How many corrective actions, how many notes to those corrective actions once somebody's checked in and read them, the total number of readings in this history, you'll see 7,786. So we're consuming data every 2 to 3 seconds in this instance for all of these devices, all of these readings on the one device. So we are capable of handling an intense amount of data, and all based in a cloud platform. You'll also notice that I can, at the top here, I can see my notifications. I can see charts and graphs, and then I can go into the device settings and update and change anything that I need to change. Now, here's an example of that chart functionality. This is an historical view over a few hours for one day of the temperature setting. We're measuring it, and we can switch the sensor mode at the top center here and give humidity or any of the other possible readings on the device in the same screen. Now let's talk about use cases, and we will have some time at the end here where we can talk about your specific questions or specific use cases if Chintan or I didn't cover it. So please hold on to your notes. I think Mike from our team has sent out a chat. You can submit those there, and we can start to cover those at the end, but I'll cover just a couple here and show how we handle them in custom dashboards. First is predictive maintenance. As Chintan spoke about earlier, these are super important, right? And it can be anything from temperature to vibration, a lot of different data points that allow you to get into predictive maintenance. And the main thing that we're doing from an IoT use case standpoint is we're looking for leading indicators, meaning whether you're in automotive, chemical, semiconductor, aerospace, mineral deposits can cause heat exchanger conduits to clog. So we're going to look at those before they get the blockage. We're going to try to identify your pump motor vibration is out of sync before the motor fails. And the idea there is it saves downtime, gives you the ability to schedule your maintenance, and we can alert you to those before you would notice them previously. So, important to note here that these devices, whether it's an access point or a radio module or the wireless sensor endpoint that we set these thresholds and we measure them constantly. That measurement variable is configurable. So maybe you want it every 3 minutes, maybe you want it every 30 minutes, maybe you want it once a day. We can configure that and set that for you as well. And then in the specific instance, the upstream and downstream heat exchangers can have a temperature differential that we need to know about. So what does that look like here? This is a custom dashboard. I created this in probably 3 minutes. And this actually, you'll notice the temperature is the same. I used one sensor to simulate it, but your upstream on the left side here is green, your downstream is on the right. So that tells me that I've got an alert sensor downstream, and I want to go and take a look at that before it becomes a real issue. Just for informational purposes, we have the historical graph here for both temp and humidity that can show you exactly when this condition was created. If you don't want to go back and review your text or email alerts. So let's talk about facility monitoring, environmental factors like temperature and humidity or air quality to ensure worker safety. Maybe I have a distribution environment and I want to use the Wireless Sensor Endpoint Pro with an external air quality monitor to monitor carbon monoxide from trucks idling or some other factor. I can go in and see those levels and be alerted to those levels before it becomes a problem. Now, what does that look like here? Here we're monitoring temperature and humidity again. Green means good, red means bad, super easy to visualize. I can add as many of these different widgets, is what we call them, as many of these widgets in as necessary in order to get a full view. And remember, these dashboards are customizable by person. So my dashboard could be different from yours, and each team member could set the things that they want to see, as well as set the alerts they want to receive, and even the devices that they want to see. So that's the overview of these wireless sensor endpoints and the platform. I think now probably best that we can go in and maybe check on any questions. Mike, if you're available, do we have any questions in the chat?
Right now, I think most people are shy.
Okay, well, if you'd like to talk about any specific use cases, or if you want to discuss anything, have any questions, there is at the bottom a raise hand feature. So feel free to raise your hand and I can unmute you and we can go directly into your use case. All right, well, I guess we've made it through and given you everything that you need. Again, I'd just like to thank you for attending today and let you know you will receive the recording of this, as well as a white paper on industrial use cases that was produced by the PCTEL team. And I'd love for you to send out an email. My email and Chinton's personal email are included in the slide presentation. Love to talk to you more about it. Love to talk to you about a demo or proof of concept in your location. And we can dig deeper one-on-one into anything that you have. Chinton, anything you'd like to close with? Anything that you want to add before we go?
Thank you again, John, for this opportunity. And as you mentioned, if there are any further questions later on as well, please feel free to reach out to either John or me, and we'll be glad to help you out with your next steps as you choose the right sensors and the right deployment for your applications.
Again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining, and please do let us know if you have any questions. Thanks again.
Thank you.